So this section introduces you to the concept of functional groups and how to draw molecules in 2 and 3 dimensions. Organic compounds can be drawn in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions. 2-dimensional drawings are useful for things like balanced equations and if you don't care about the 3-dimensional architecture. If, for example, you don't care about something called stereochemistry, which we'll see later in this course. There are multiple ways to draw and represent molecules in 2 dimensions. They include the chemical formula, the condensed structure, and the line drawing and structure. I've shown examples of each below. A chemical formula is simply the easiest way to show all the atoms. So for ethanol, that's C2H6O. A condensed structure elaborates just a little bit more. It gives you a feel for where the bonds actually are. So you'll notice now that we say it's C2H5OH, which tells us that we have an alcohol functional group present and that we have an OH bond. A line drawing is the last way you may see things, and it's shown here, where each point here is a carbon atom. Now, it's worth noting that in organic chemistry, carbon is so ubiquitous that we do not write it out every time. So every time you see a point like that, unless otherwise indicated by a letter, to say O for oxygen, nitrogen, as a letter N, etc., it's a carbon. And it's also worth noting that carbon likes to make 4 bonds. So this carbon here has 2 hydrogens, and this carbon here has 3. And that's just worth keeping in mind as you look at these line formulas. So, 3 main ways to draw in 2 dimensions. The chemical formula, which is pretty uninformative but good for balancing equations. The condensed structure, which can give you feel for the functional group present. And the line drawing, where again each point represents a carbon, and carbon likes to make 4 bonds, so you may need to saturate it with hydrogens.